Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Musbahuddin Oyedeji. I'm a dedicated IT professional with 5 to 6 years of experience in the IT industry. I am based in Nigeria and I have built a strong foundation in IT support, software quality assurance, and server administration. I have a growing interest in cloud infrastructure and DevOps. However, I've worked as an IT support engineer, a manual QA tester, and I've also gained some experience in security engineering, particularly focused in web security. So currently, I serve as a server administrator where I manage and maintain um, server infrastructures to ensure optimal performance and security. So in this video, I will walk viewers through the process of promoting a server to a domain controller. So you will wonder that what is a domain controller, right? A domain controller is a server that manages network security, authenticate users, and store directory data, right? It is a critical component in a Windows server, right? It is a very critical component in a Windows Server environment, right? And it enables centralized management of users, not only users, but computers and other resources within a domain. So to set up a domain controller, you need three key rules to be installed on that server. And the first one is the ADDS, right? The first one is the ADDS, which is domain service, Active Directory Domain Services. And the second one is DNS, which is Domain Name System. And the third one is our DHCP, which is Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, which automatically assigns IP addresses to devices on the network. We will not be talking about that in this video for now, but in our subsequent videos, we'll be discussing more about DHCP, joining a PC to a domain controller, yeah, and so on. Right. So yes, so let's get started with practicalizing how to promote our server to a domain controller. So once again, my name is Musbahuddin Oyedeji. You might find it difficult in pronouncing my name, but I'm fine if you call me Musbah, right? So as you can see, my server is up and running, and I'm using VirtualBox. So I've set up the server. I'm using server 2022 evaluation desktop experience, right, for this practical. So I've set up my VirtualBox and my server is running, as you can see. So let's get started on how to promote this server to a domain controller. Just like I've said earlier, we need three key rules, which is first is we need our ADDS, second we need our DNS, and third we need our DHCP. How do you do that? So on your server, you simply go to your server manager, open it, and you can see the add rules and feature. Right. So we click on add rules, we click on next, we click on next, click on next. Now you need to click on first option is what we need is Active Directory Domain Services. Not the first one, but the second one. So we click on that and we add. Right. The next one is DNS add, and we need the DHCP server too. Yes. So we click on next. Before I click on this, just to let you know, on the server we have about 20 rules which serve as a function on the server. So if you need a function on the server, you need to check the server rules. So we have about 20 rules on the server. If you count from the start to the bottom, there's about 20 rows on the server. For example, if you want to deploy an ASP.NET application, or let's say, I think I've deployed a WordPress website using IIS. So you need the web server and you need other features too. We'll discuss about rules and server in our subsequent video, but let us just get started with promoting this server to a domain controller. Right. So now I'll click on next. I'll click on next. Click on next. 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 Now we install. So the installation is starting. All right. This is going to take some time, so I'm just going to pause the video and we will continue after the installation is completed. Right. Thank you for watching. And please, if you have any question, kindly drop in the comment section. I will be happy to help. Okay. Okay, welcome back. So the installation is completed. So now we click on close. We click on promote this server to a domain controller, as you can see. So I'll click on that. So after completing the rules installation, you will come to this top. At the top right, you will see this blue alert notification icon. You click on it and you see promote this server to a domain controller. So I'm going to click that now. And this process is going to promote the server to a domain controller. However, before we continue the process, I would like to explain some things. So when deploying a server to a domain controller, right? You have three main options. The first one is add a domain controller to an existing domain. So this option joins the server to an already established Active Directory, which means that the company already has an Active Directory, because the reason why we are promoting the server is to enable the Active Directory, right? We are still going to talk elaboratively on Active Directory, but I want us to take it a step at a time so that you can understand the whole concept of a domain controller, right? So the first option is add to an existing domain. So this option joins the server to an already established Active Directory. So the server becomes a domain controller for that domain, helping with things like authentication and management. For example, let's say you have an existing domain, which is frontlatech.com. You want to add a new domain controller. So the domain controller can be maybe dc2.frontlatech.com. So this is just an example. So you use this first option when an organization has a single AD domain, right, Active Directory domain, and wants to increase things like redundancy or load balancing by adding another, DC, or maybe they just want a backup, right? So the second option is add a new domain to an existing forest. So these options create a new domain inside an existing Active Directory forest, but keeps it under the same root forest. So this new domain could be a child or a tree domain, right? So we use this when an organization needs separate administrative control for a department or a subsidiary branch, right? But still want to keep it within the same boundary, right? So the next one, which we are going to be doing in this video, is create a new forest. This set up a completely new Active Directory forest separate from an existing domain structure. So we use this when starting a new organization or we want to work on a project, right? So for today's video, we are going to click on the third one, which is add a new forest, right? And I'm using Neota core.local, right? I'm using Neota core.local. Um, so a .local domain, just like Neota core.local, um, is used on a local network, that it is not accessible from the public network, right? It is not accessible from the public network. And as we continue, you will, get to understand the differences between using an actual real domain and a .local domain, right? So a real domain, let's say neotacore.com and neotacore.local. So what are the differences? So the differences basically is that for an actual real domain, let's say neotacore.com, so this is a public, that means you have an existing domain. For example, if you are working as a server administrator in a company, the company should have a website, maybe neotacore.com or neotacore.co.uk, and so on. So if you have a real domain, that means it is publicly registered and it is accessible over the internet. So you have your email, you might have your website and and other external external access, right? So you can integrate this with cloud services like Microsoft 365, Azure Active Directory, and so on, right? But for a local domain, right, it is a private domain and it can only be used inside a network. I don't know if you are getting me. So I'm saying that if it's an actual real domain, for example, neotacore.com, it is publicly registered and can be accessible over the internet. You have things like emails, you have your website, and other external access, right? And you can integrate your actual domain with cloud services like Microsoft 365, Azure Active Directory, and the like, right? But for a local domain, it means that this is actually for private use, used within the company, right? Within the company, and it can only be used inside the network, right? Which means that if I'm working in a company where they don't want to use the actual domain, they want to use a .local. So that means the server will be sitting locally on in a network, and all other systems will be connected to it, will be joined to it. So it can only be used inside the network. So it is not routable over the internet and cannot be used with external services like Microsoft 365 um, and yes, Microsoft 365 and other cloud services, right? So that is just it. So let's continue. I think I mistakenly closed this. So let's continue. So now we promote this server to a domain controller, add a new forest, Niota or dot local, right? Next. So my password, I'm going to set a strong password. Click on next. I'm going to do some verification. Just give it some time. So you click on next. So now you have two options on how to install your roles and get it running. It is either you do it by script, PowerShell script. You just view the script and copy it into PowerShell and run it, or you just do your clicking your next and complete the process. So I'm fine with clicking the next button for this video. So it's going to check some prerequisites and do some validation. Once the validation is done, then you click on install. You don't need to worry about all this English. Just install, right? Oh, sorry about that. So yes, the system is restarting now. The domain service has been installed and it is restarting. So the server is starting. I will just pause the video so that this won't keep you waiting. So once the server has started, I will, start back the video. So don't forget, if you have any question, please drop in the comment section. I will be happy to help. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel so that anytime I drop a new video, you can get notification of the new video. So the system is restarting. I mean, the server is restarting now. So once the changes has been applied successfully, see that the server has been successfully promoted to a domain controller user core. So let's be patient. So once the process is done, you will see that the server has been successfully promoted to a domain controller.